Welcome to the Digital Marketing Insights podcast, brought to you by Brightside Digital.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm delighted to say we have Niamh O'Connor, who's Head of Communications. Niamh, how you doing?
Hi Tom, yeah, very well, thank you, very well. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Niamh, we start off, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your career to date, please?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Niamh O'Connor. I am currently head of communications for an international trade consultancy firm. I've not always been in this industry. I started, I suppose, life off in my marketing career, more B2C in the equestrian industry. So made a bit of a leap into a different sector. But I started off my career out of university, really more the e-commerce side and products, and then moved across to B2B marketing in this role.
And what would you see as your main strength in digital at the moment?
My main strength, I'd say strategy would be my main strength. Yeah.
And so, yeah, tell me, you've obviously gone first and foremost from B2C to B2B. Can you talk about probably the difference, a little overview of the difference in strategies and kind of what you feel works really well in B2B market at the moment?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the main difference is, B2B is very different. It's more moving away from, I suppose, that this isn't maybe not the right term, but that instant gratification that you kind of are looking for with B2C. So you're trying with imagery, it's very much based around that, or it can be. With B2B, I find it is much more content driven. And the strategies there are different because, well, I found with the industry I'm in, it's trying to get people engaged and interested, perhaps, for example, creating an article that answers a question that they might be looking for. Rather, it's not all necessarily, about a product you're selling. I think that's probably the main difference I find with the strategy on it, and just using the different channels is probably the biggest difference as well.
And do you have any campaign work, any recent work, or anything in the B2B market that you're really proud of or you made really successful?
Yeah, we've developed our email marketing. We've really developed that in the past year, where we run campaigns, we run monthly and bi-weekly newsletters, which we've seen an increase in subscriptions. We get immediate business from them when we touch on certain subjects. So, and it's kind of indirect business, which is great. So that's something that I've really seen develop and really interested in as well.
And talk a little bit more on that. So is it an automated journey as well? Did you have to build out kind of different workflows for your different stages of your B2B clients?
Yeah, so we have, for my current role, I suppose we have two email marketing strategies, I suppose. We have one for our clients, or for perhaps people, businesses who aren't our clients but can sign up to our newsletter. And then we have another one for our members. So the difference in those is very interesting. For our members, they are paying for a service, they're paying for information. So that is primarily what we give them there. And then for our free newsletter, our public one, that's more built around increasing subscriptions. So engaging the consumer, engaging the client. We pick different topics every month to kind of spotlight on, which we know are either, in the news or we're getting a lot of questions via our helpline on. So we try and strategize around demand for content, which is can be really interesting. And we've currently built the different stages, I suppose, where we went from, probably not having the best email marketing strategy in the world, to developing it where, very simple things like having a welcome email when people sign up, and I suppose little things like that you don't initially think of, but do help. Yeah.
Obviously, you're head of communication, so do you have a kind of structure or format where you're helping people identify the brand tone of the business, or do you have to, does everything go through you? Do you have to sign things off, or how does that work externally, communications that go out?
Yeah, so currently we have it. So I sign everything off. I've kind of developed the voice of the business. I mean, it's quite a small team, and I work closely with a lot of the technical advisors within the company. So I feed from them on content. I'm very lucky that a lot of them enjoy writing. So they write a lot of articles for us. But like the imagery, the branding, yeah, that all kind of currently comes through me and is through my vision at the moment. I mean, I do, for example, we've just launched some online badges and certificates for our training courses. So I went and designed a few, and then I got the team to vote on them, to make it kind of more inclusive. And so we do that kind of thing. But yeah, I would say, as my role as head of communications, yeah, listen, it lands with me. I'm deciding what goes out.
Yeah, fair enough. And that sounds really interesting with the online badges. What was the decision for that? Is that to improve engagement and reward people? How does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, two things really. It's kind of gratification for the users, the clients coming on our training courses, to give them something that they can have. We did send out certificates, but since COVID, I suppose everything is. We used to just do face-to-face training, and then COVID happened, so we had to move the world of training online. So this is really nice for them to be able to have something to showcase their professional achievement. But also in the background, there's always marketing in the background, isn't there? It's great that they can then share this digital badge on LinkedIn, tag our company. So it's really about exposure as well, and exposing us more to a larger audience.
And to focus on yourself for a second, is there any areas where you go to for new information and insights?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm always reading up on things. I do find LinkedIn is great. To follow fellow professionals, I suppose. There's a great couple of people that I follow on LinkedIn for email marketing tips and advice. Often they're not in the B2B sector, but I think some of the skills there can be applied across the board. So really, I find LinkedIn a very useful tool for keeping on top of things.
And in terms of software, you've obviously mentioned email. What email software do you use?
We use MailChimp, yeah.
And how are you finding MailChimp as a platform?
Yeah, I mean, it does have its constraints, but overall, I find it very user friendly, and it does the job for what we require it to do within our business. That doesn't mean to say I'm never on the lookout for new softwares. We're always looking to streamline and make the process simpler. So we use that. We use we just implemented actually last year, and it's been very successful, a training software. It's called Arlo. It's a New Zealand based company, and that works in the back end of our website and has streamlined, a huge amount of our admin side of things in the business. So it's an exciting time, I think, to be either on the lookout for new software or developing your business, because there's just so much on the market at the moment. So you really have a lot to choose from.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of other softwares, is there anything that helps with your day-to-day work that you might use as well?
Yeah, I mean, so I suppose the Arlo one, as I've mentioned, that really streamlined how the business ran. We use Microsoft Service Desk, which that really helps in our industry. It helps what we use it for. We're able to mold it to work for us. And then, I mean, Zoom and Teams. Sadly, you can't be without them these days.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, it seems like a lot of your work recently is around kind of email development. Is there any advice you could give to our listeners in terms of building out email campaigns or anything that you would recommend to anyone starting up or managing an email platform?
Yeah, I think. I mean, this is for the B2B sector. I would just say try and remain authentic. In the information given, your clients know you. At the end of the day, you are trying to sell something. But if you can, we pride ourselves on giving good, reliable, practical advice. So I think if you're starting out, I try and keep that's the core of your email marketing. It's very easy to get led down a sales pitch kind of route, I think, for email marketing. But I think if you can remain authentic and stick to the message you want to give, I think that's a really good place to start.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And is there any areas you're looking to upskill into, Niamh, and why?
Oh gosh. I mean, I would love to upskill on code, on HTML code. I can do, the bare minimum to get by, but that's an area that I actually would really like to learn a little bit more to develop that side of my skill set.
Yeah, that's a really good one, and it's vital, especially if you change to a more advanced email platform. You might need to know a bit more of HTML, CSS, especially to get the kind of emails you probably want from it.
Yeah.
Is there any areas of the digital industry that you're looking forward to, like anything that excites you or anything you're seeing change, thinking, oh, I need to keep an eye on this?
I think one of the biggest changes, and I suppose it's more because of the industry and the sector I work within my position, is the education side of things. We've seen a big shift now to this blended learning approach, which is where it's a mix of online self-study, e-learning, and some face-to-face. So I think that's one to watch within the education sector, definitely.
Brilliant. And lastly, we always try and understand the people behind the roles. If you could bottle up one personality trait that you have yourself, Niamh, what would it be?
Determination, I would say. Sometimes it probably could be viewed as stubbornness, but yeah, determination. I don't like to be beaten by softwares and products. So yeah.
Love it. And Niamh, if anyone wants to touch base with you, maybe shoot the breeze on LinkedIn or something around email marketing, especially, and communications, how can people get in touch
Yeah,
with you?
you can find me on LinkedIn on my profile there, and you can also find me on the website the company I work for, which is Strong and Heard. You'll find me on there, my contact.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you, Niamh, for being on the show. And yeah, thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks for having me.